Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 132 of the Holding Court podcast. Today, I'm joined by special guest, MLB wife, super mom of four, and the owner of a brand new Porsche. We're talking all things baseball wife, and we're taking some of your questions, all coming up right now on Holding Court.
Bum 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 bum.
Ashley Kelly, welcome to Holding Court, finally.
Thanks for having me, Kourtney, with a K.
You were a highly sought after guest, and I feel like you held out as long as you could, and then you just had to give in. You were playing hard to get, but you were putting out little like breadcrumbs along the way that you wanted to be here. So I don't know.
Here. You finally got me. I think you becoming a mom like got me somehow. I don't know. It's weird.
That's all it took.
That's all it took.
I love
So the more kids you have, the more appearances I'll make.
Well, we'll get into that. So right now we're holding tight at one. I obviously posted on Instagram and asked people what they wanted us to talk about. And so we have a ton to cover, and you are known for your very short, concise responses and stories. So we'll see how many we can get to. But I feel like off the bat, it's a good way to start if I ask you what your first impression of me was. Should I cover my ears?
No, I don't think you need to cover it. I don't think this would come as a surprise to you. Or if it did, I'm sorry.
Wow.
But I don't remember, okay? So don't be searching for this. But I was told that you were a bitch. So if I already had that background.
Do you think it was one person?
I think it was multiple, to be honest.
Oh, heavens.
But I never look at that as like, oh, I'm gonna stay away. You know, it's like I look at it as more as like a challenge. Like I'm gonna reel her in. You know. So then when I really saw you, I was like, oh, she's beautiful, right? Like I already saw you. Obviously, I creeped on your stuff, but like, oh, she's beautiful. Crap, you know, she's a bitch. Damn it, you know, whatever. But yeah. I think once we clicked right away, so I was good. Hopefully, straight. What was your impression of me?
Multiple people?
Multiple, for sure.
Were they on the Dodgers, or it was like just around the group, like around the
baseball? I don't remember. This was a bit ago. This was a bit ago. I would say multiple people, probably. Let me name them. Yeah,
no, that's fair. Well, I obviously knew of you. I remember in the World Series in Boston, like Joe's.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like I was like, who is this Ryan Seacrest looking? You know, whatever. That just was. I feel like was pitching 500 times that World Series. I don't know. Maybe that was accurate. Maybe that wasn't.
That's accurate.
But like same thing. I feel like, but we had that like sarcastic vibe going from the very beginning. But I did feel like when I met you that like you knew more about me than I feel like I had told you. Like,
yeah.
So I didn't know if you creeped or like other people had said something. And it is funny when there's like a wife coming over, or like it's happened now that we've went to different teams. I'm always thinking I am going to I'm like, oh, okay, now we're with Boston. Like I can start fresh. Like I won't be like that weirdo.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Bit like this. And then like first day, like word vomit, and I tell like a weird story, or I do something strange, or I like say like too much. I'm like, shit, now we have to go to another team now. Like I ruined it. Like you think you can start fresh, like a new high school, and it just follows you. Like you can't start fresh.
Oh yeah. No, you can't. Especially because we're kind of like old in this thing, right? Like we're kind of veteran wives, I guess, if you want to say that now.
Yeah.
So I've thought the same exact thing. I've literally thought where I'm like, I'm going into this. I could be whoever I want to be, right? Yeah. I could be whoever I want to be. I could be like super nerdy. I could pretend I'm like a skater if I wanted. I could like not even open my mouth and just pretend that I'm super introverted. But it never happens that way. I'm like, I continue to be the weird. I'm just weird, and just try to laugh at everything. So that's where I think I just stand with everybody.
I just thought everyone was enjoying me. I didn't know that I was rubbing people the wrong way. I think now you messed with me. Like,
no, you're direct. Your vibe it's similar to mine a bit, but it's you're more direct wit kind of a situation. I think we're both witty. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you're more like, if you don't like somebody, I feel like, people don't know it. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like you're not, where I just avoid. Mine's simply avoidance. I don't know.
Well, I always say, like, you're in a room with 20 wives ish per team. Like, you're not gonna, think about like high school. If you're in a classroom with 20 people, like
Totally.
how many people are you going to vibe with? I will say there's really only been one person in like the 14 years that I truly did not like. I won't say who it is, but you can all guess. And I just feel like I'm always direct, but like polite, right? No,
for sure.
Polite.
Yeah. No, you are.
You're wondered.
You are who you are. You are who you are.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, I feel like.
The sarcasm, I like things to be done. I like rules. And I feel like a lot of times in baseball, like younger girls come up and we're like, okay, like they can't do this or they shouldn't be doing this. Or like you kind of like there used to be crazy rules. Like we weren't allowed to wear like team stuff in the stands. Like we weren't allowed to do certain things. Like you can't even like look at the back of the plane. Like you couldn't go and like the bars on the road, like different things. And now I feel like it's like girls come up and it's just like a free for all. So I think for me, I was like, okay, what's the balance of like these gentle reminders of like the new girls coming up or like the rookie wives? Like what's the balance of like where I don't come off as like this old curmudgeon that's like, you can't do this, that, but like still wanting to like maintain a certain level of like professionalism or boundaries with us.
For sure.
Like, at the end of the day, like it's not a sorority that's there to serve us. Like obviously there's like a social aspect that comes with it, but it's still like there needs to be
for sure
structure.
And it's changed a lot. I felt that too. I feel like when you come up, I remember in like 2012 in St. Louis, I was so intimidated of all of the like veteran wise, if you want to say, and like I just stayed quiet, stayed in my zone, and stayed in my. It's definitely shifted, and I think your role was probably different. Like you see it differently than I do because I could almost at the time, well, because I have pickings of kids over here. I kind of that was my my way of almost avoiding, right? So it's like. Yeah. It's different now. Like with I think kids, it's like a whole different thing too. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely changed a bit for sure. Times have changed.
Yeah. When Justin and I were first dating, we were sat, like the girlfriends were sat in a different area of the family section. It was like, it sounds like very harsh, but like, don't speak unless you're spoken to. I waited for anyone to approach me.
100%.
I didn't assume 100%. I was going to like baby showers or they were like, oh, you need to get an ID made. I was like, me? Like what? Like what? It just I don't know. So I feel like it's different now. And I think social media has definitely changed. I think a lot of it and a lot of like, I don't want to say like entitlement, but just like you come up and you just have an expectation of how it's going to be. And so I don't know. 100%. Sure, along the way, I've like rubbed some people the wrong way, or maybe they didn't like hearing any rules or something like that. But I don't know. No,
you hold it up. I've always loved you, Kourtney. So, and I've admired that. Were there times where I was like, she's a bitch? 100%, but a good bitch. You know what I mean?
One you want on your side.
Yeah, you 100%, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the sarcasm and all that we're the same way. And like you mentioned using like humor to fit in and kind of just being like the goofy person. But I feel like people are drawn to you. I know like there were times when, I don't know, where were we at? Like San Francisco and the guys like clinched the playoffs and everyone's just like, all right, let's go back to the hotel. And we're like, wait, no, we are getting champagne. Like we're doing this. Like we're in the hallway, like just trying to make the most of the situation. Everyone's probably like, okay, weirdos, but whatever. Like we find our own fun and it works. You have to. Because I feel like too, that's one thing I feel like when you're in it, if I could look back or something, it's like, never taking what, the position we're in and the things that we get to do for granted. Mind you, it's not all glamorous when you see things online. And I think that's one of the biggest things I try to at least portray in and offline, and in reality is like, I don't want people to ever like, not see real and raw, versus kind of the frou-frou stuff. But it's one of those things where looking back, I'd be like, take every single second. Like, this is amazing because you never know. Your dude could get hurt the next day. He could, never, this is such a small, like, time in everyone's life. And it just so happened that our dudes just played a long time. Right. It's like, I don't know. I feel like looking back, it's like, take every single, I would have told myself, travel more, do all the things, and it's like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like, some of the girls, I'm like, just, enjoy it, have fun. Don't take it, crazy serious. But,
yeah, keep everything, try to stay grounded. I feel like that's like been the hardest part of that.
Yeah. I think
just staying grounded.
I agree. And I think in the beginning you're like, play it cool, like act like you've been there. And then as his career went on and he like things would happen or he would hit milestones, I'm like, you know what? Like screw it. Like we're going to celebrate this milestone or that. And like, cause it's fleeting and it's short lived and our guys are still going. You said played. I don't know why you use past tense. Like they're still playing.
Well, I mean, apparently no one wants these, these old men right now. That's kind of,
it's a youth movement.
Or they do, or playing. Yeah. Sorry, you're going to hate me for this. I'm just talking about being a mom.
Are you going to pee? Where are you going?
No, I have to plug this in. It's telling me your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, you mentioned having kids in this life, and I was the rare kidless wonder at my age. And I feel like, I don't know if maybe that's why it was wild. Like going to Seattle and having a baby, everyone, it was like fresh, like mom meat. Like they were like, oh, tell me, like, how's he sleeping? Like, how's this happening? Like, what's this? I was like, is this all I needed to do to be the popular one all these seasons? But it was definitely a shift of like interest in my life and topics. Like no one wants to talk about anything else now, but mentioned like mom life and doing this. Like I waited so long, and I feel like we talked about like Gianni Jansen was like, you're doing it the right way. Like I love my kids. I love this,
100%.
But like,
yes,
obviously like enjoy it, soak it up. Like don't rush anything. And we never felt pressure or anything, but I guess like speak to baseball life, having a shit ton of kids, and like obviously you did it before and then after. Like
sure.
what is that like?
Yeah, it comes with, I mean, again, I'm gonna, try to make a long story short, which never happens.
Ashley's new nickname is short story long because she cannot tell.
It's awful, you guys. It's so bad that I have I can't. It's like diarrhea of the mouth. You know why? It's because I'm excited that I'm doing something out of the norm of like my day. So it's like just diarrhea comes out of my mouth, and I can't keep a story just short. Just summarize it, dude. Like it's like every single thing I need to write, talk about. So let's start with the first kid. So my birth story is, so I feel like, again, looking back at myself when I didn't have kids. Okay. And I'm in this life. I remember this was 2012. He gets called up, and I'm still a girlfriend. Right. And that's all that comes with its, girlfriend, fiance, wife.
Yeah.
Right away it's like, but it comes with that. And then in order to make a lot of people, I would say not many people do the long distance, because that's a hard thing to do in this type of life. Like it really truly is. Okay. So you already don't see each other when you're together. So it's tough, so it's one of those things where I feel like I'm coming up as a girlfriend, right? I'm at that time, it's very hard because there is a different type of style, and to veterans, to rookies, to all of it. Even when it came to baseball, I felt like I remember when like Yadier Molina like finally told Joe, like he handed him the ball one day and was like, you could call your pitches. I believe in you now. Like call your pitches. Cause he always just listened to whatever Yadi threw down,
Yeah.
And he just like, oh, and I remember that almost was my way of like being like, can I ask a question to his wife now? It's like one of those things though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I always had a very hard time going, okay, do I leave my whole life back? Who am I? I almost like slipped into a bit of a depression, because it was like, okay, he's away, and I ended up quitting my job, moving out with him, eventually when he did put a ring on my finger, which again, that's a whole other thing, you commit to this life and you're like, okay, here we go. And so I just remember being like, okay, who am I? Okay, I'm just going to run and I'm going to work out. And, oh, he's on the road and I'm supposed to stay here and watch our dogs. And okay. And then, and when I looked back, I'm like, why didn't you travel? Why didn't you go with him? Why? Yeah. Because there was something about me where I was like, well, I'm going to continue doing stuff for myself. I'm going to teach a bunch of fitness classes and get certified. And I could do that. Right. So I think it was hard. It was hard to get into that MLB kind of lifestyle. Right. Cause I was like, who am I? Like, do I carry a Chanel now? Like, what do I, it's like a weird feeling. I don't know if you're like connecting with that.
No. And I think, well, especially when you go to college, you have this whole thing and everything's set to go. And then I met Justin right after college, and it was,
sure,
you almost feel like you have to lead in the room of like, no, I promise I'm not just following around. Like I could be doing something different. Like I have my own thing. And like speaking of like the staying home and acting like you have I mean, you did have stuff going on, but like you want it to seem like, I don't know. And we see it now. And like the girls first come around and they're engaged and they're like, why? I could never not work and I could never do this.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, right. Well,
good luck.
I mean, talk to me in 5 years if you want to.
I know.
It's a short window and it's all that. And I'm always like, it'll be my time one day. It'll probably never be my time one day. But no, that makes total sense. And
well, it's like I want to hug them sometimes.
Yeah.
When I see a girl that's just engaged, fresh into this, sometimes I just want to like give them all the advice of like what I would do when, if I could look back at my younger self in MLB life. Yeah. But like, don't lose yourself, stay grounded, keep the people that are your best friends from home. And that's like what keeps, I think, everyone kind of like, themselves, like, don't lose yourself. And, cause everything comes so like, look at us, look at it. It's like, it's not like that. It's hard. You're constantly traveling. Then you throw a baby in the mix and that's like a whole new thing. And I will say like, we're freaking rock stars. We get traded and we pack up a house in 2 days and we're on the road, and it's with all of your things, and it's like, you're just bye, peace out. And you're finding somewhere else in a new city. And you don't know anybody, right? You just move in and you're like, all right, what's next? I'm in Boston. Oh, cool. I'm in St. Louis. Oh, cool. It's just like Chicago. Like you're just kind of like we're like little gypsy women that just we just make it work, and then we're just rock stars. And then you add in the kids. I will say it's hard, obviously. And as obviously, if you add more, and people are just like, oh, it gets past 2 or 3, like you're fine. It's fine.
They start to raise themselves at that point, right?
Yeah. I'm like, no, this shit's hard. Like, so you friggin' smoking? Cause I'm over here like, I should probably smoke more, to be honest. But I feel like, just like what we do and like I always call it like a double life. It's like you have your MLB side, right? And it's like you're trying to kind of be supportive of your husband and dad and all these things. But then you have like this other side of you that's like reality, where it's like, oh, I have my kid in school. Oh, my kid wants to play sport now. Oh, my kid, I have to kind of talk with now. Like I'm so used to like these MLB wives, my friends, and then that, and then my friends at home. But then I'm like, oh, I have to be friends with my kid's friends. So then he has friends. And it's just you're constantly going, you're constantly doing. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard in all aspects. Got a baby or not, but the kids are definitely, it's a different ballgame at that point. You're dipping into different lives.
Well, especially as they get older and they're in school and they're in different things and you're pulled in all these different directions. And like, I feel like I'm obviously on the later end, so it won't really be a factor unless Justin goes into chapter 2 of this and wants to coach or never leave baseball. And then it's like, okay, do you homeschool? Do you stay with, like, obviously they're going to have friends and a life. And like growing up, like I never moved once and I just had that stability. Sure. And now it's like, oh, what would you put a kid through if you just decided to take him along for the ride? Or like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of situations. And I do think a lot of wives, like if they don't play it right, they start to almost like resent their husbands. It's like, okay, you're off.
100%.
Yeah. You're off 100%. Doing this. I'll be fine. And I have this, for me, I'm always like, it's good. We're all good. We're fine. And inside, like, okay, I'm actually dying in this situation, but we're gonna pull it off. We're gonna pull it off and make it seem like it was easy and I can handle this, but it gets wild for sure.
It's hard, and you're not around your family. You're in these, like it's in the cities. You're in different cities, and sometimes I felt too, where you want to have friends. I mean, and if you're a mom, you need mom friends. That's just in general. That's across. You need mom friends to connect with what you're going through, because everyone's going through the same thing in different, ways. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like, I don't know. It's hard. It's just the whole thing it's just hard. Like, you're in these other cities, like, where's my mom? Where's my best friend? Where's my, where's my sisters? So you don't have that. You wake up and you're going, okay, well, he's on a 10-day road trip. All right. I think the lady across their street's name is Tiffany. Maybe I will go over there and ask her to join me on a walk. Maybe. I don't know. Like, we're crazy, dude. We're absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will say with you, Kourt, like, I think we both, because we have two way different views, is I think you did do it right. I think both ways, I think with Justin's going to play till he's, I think 52.
He's
were
going
saying
for like Tom Brady numbers. So whatever that is, I don't know. Like,
we're going to go there.
Yeah.
We're going to go there with it. That is the cool thing.
I won't leave and find like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor on the side, but we're following that. We're following
No.
We're following the roadmap.
Yeah. 100%. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, like you were able to kind of experience every, aspect as much as you could, right? I could to a certain point, but you're throwing a kid in there. It's just, and then you throw in twins and it's just a lot. So I just kind of feel like either way you did it. Like I like looking back at Knox. I feel like sometimes I look back at his life and I'm like, I look at his pictures. I look at like his first pitches or pictures we've taken at family days on the mound he's going to be 9 in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, he really was born into baseball and, sometimes it's just, his life is I look at it and I'm like, dude, at times I want to call him a brat. You know what I mean? Like, you're a little brat. But I'm like, no, he's not. This is truly his life. Like,
yeah.
I think about little things like he just had Will Smith and his wife at, our his practice. I mean, his game. And when we were out in Vegas,
yeah.
And he just walks up you would think that, all the boys are like, oh, and he walks up and just like, I haven't seen you in a bit, bro. Like gives him knuckles, like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh my God, but at the same time, he grew up in, a clubhouse. He grew up in multiple clubhouses. He's, and so I think that is so special. Like, I don't know. I look at like these videos and photos. I'm like, oh my God. And the twins, like at Dodger Stadium, it's so special. And I will forever be grateful for this chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whenever it closes,
It's wide open. I know. I think about that with Bo now where I'm like, oh man, I hope he's like running around at least when Justin's still playing. Like we get some little like bit of that. And I think that that is the part that's sweet. And then I think about shit, I'm going to be really old when he's like graduating high school and stuff. Like maybe I didn't do it right, but
yeah, but you'll be like a hot mom, just like everyone's like, oh, Bo's mom. Like you're just gonna just roll with it, dude. Roll with it.
I show up to kindergarten on the first day. I'm like, hello, fellow teenagers. What's trendy around here?
What's up?
Oh man. No, I know. I go back and forth, but I think, I don't know, for what it was, I think I did it the way that I thought was right and can't go back now.
I think so too.
No, I'm just a old
I think so too.
Okay. So convince me to have another baby. He's both 7 months. Like, do I have a baby? Do I not have a baby? Like one and done? Like, I feel like I know where your argument's going at least.
You know what? Yeah. So there's something right now that just hit me, right? That I see you with twins. I see you with twins.
Okay. It's weird. My mom found this letter and it was my goals.
Oh no.
Like when I was little and it was like, whatever, go on The Price is Right or something. See all 50 states by the time I'm 50, which I'm like tracking really nicely for that one, thanks to my drives. And one of them was have twins. And she sent it to me. It said that
on your, how old were you when you did this?
I don't know, like 10, a very long time ago.
It's fucking weird, dude.
It was folded up and it was like tucked in a stuffed animal and she found it and it said have twins. But like, should the twins have been first? Like maybe that would have been helpful.
No, I didn't do that. You'd be following the Kelly path.
That's true.
Kelly path was, the problem is we don't want another pandemic. We got to keep that part out of it. Yeah. But oh my God, and make it come full circle. And I could do a baby shower for you and we'll make it all like Blink-182 like you did. Like we'll do it a whole, oh my God, now you have to have twins.
I actually found your baby shower photos the other day and I don't know if like that got enough. Like I think it should have went viral maybe. Like someone should have.
It didn't get enough. It did not get enough.
I blame COVID.
And I think if people saw it, it was COVID. It was because everyone's head was everywhere.
COVID was like that day, I feel like, or like the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't.
No, it was, I just got my gifts open and then we crashed.
At least you got your gifts before because.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Yeah. I see you with twins. Wait a second. Don't do it right now. Just like wait like a second. Like, you know what I mean? My sister has
still like shifting around and
they
gotta go
wait like a second because twins are no joke. Like I'm tall, so I have the height helps me a bit. Like I could house, I feel like a good amount of kids. You're not like short, you know what I'm saying? But like, I just get nervous for anyone, shorter than my 5'11". So it's just, I feel like you'll be fine, but at least wait like a year or so, you know what I mean?
Okay, I don't want to wait too long because then I'm like real
Who cares? You stay hot, dude. You stay hot. Justin knows that. Justin knows what he's doing.
Age is just a number.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna go down with that for as long as we can.
Okay, twin energy.
Wait, have you done Botox yet? Have we talked about this? This is so random off topic. I'm sorry.
I feel like I was ready to do it, and I found out I was pregnant, and then I was like, "Shit, are you?"
Oh yeah,
you're like not supposed to do.
I remember we talked about this before because I haven't either. So I'm like a little like not. There's like moments where I'm like, okay, my forehead, or like when I smile, I could see little things, and I'm like, do I do this? No, I'm gonna hold out. I'm holding out as long as I can.
So we can keep that in our back pocket, and then we just kind of like out of nowhere, we have this. Like,
I can't.
We just.
When people start talking about Botox, it's one of my favorite things to use right now.
We're gonna turn back the clock.
Well, I like pulling it out. Like, oh, no, never done Botox. Not saying that's like I'm better than you, but like just haven't gave in to the addiction. You know what I mean?
Still there. It'll be there.
Still there.
I'm sure. Give it time.
It's like a week. I'm all girl.
Okay. Any mom advice for me?
Everything I think is a stage. If you look at it as stages, I think sometimes we, when you're in it, especially your first baby, you're like, is this forever? You kind of pass like, I feel like the dark zone, depending on how people handle the newborn stage. But that stage isn't my favorite. I'll say that for sure. But it's just, because you have everything with it. And I wish like at the time that someone would have told me like, this is not forever. Mm-hmm. And because you so quickly can change that from your mentality of just feeling negative about what's going on to like, instead of flipping it, being like, I am going to enjoy all the, drippy boobs to the poopy ass diapers that I'm going to be wiping and just everything, because it does truly go by so fast. You can't explain motherhood until you drive down the hood yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just kind of feel like you just have to look at every stage as a stage. Like there's going to be a couple months that are rough. There's going to be months that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you were a baby yesterday and look at you now. Like it's just enjoying every single moment. And then I feel too, one of the things that I've had to really like, I just think in this time of day too, is I let my kids know that like everyone's not going to like them. I know that's so random, but I feel like that almost helps them a bit because there's all this pressure to like feel, like liked by people and like, stuff like that. But it's like, I really do like say like, not everyone's going to like you and that's okay. You just have to be you. Like be you. If they don't like it, that's okay. Don't ever feel like what you're doing is wrong or different or whatever. Like stay weird, booze, like stay weird. So yeah, look at the stages and then just let them be them. So they'll hopefully do it regardless, but
you're giving that advice to us too, to just be yourself and not everyone's going to like you. Giving it to baseball wife, Ashley and Kourt.
I just go down. It's like on my shirt. Oh my God. Yeah. That's why we are who we are, Kourt.
We can sell merchandise. No, that's fair. And I feel like it was in the newborn trenches where you're just like, no one tells you about the hallucinations. Like that's the most effed up. Are you looking at me like you didn't have them? Or are you looking at me like it was insane? I'm like, wait, right now. You didn't have the hallucinations?
I'm having one right now. You don't even want to know the hallucinations I was having in general. It's like
I
it's
just
real.
wish someone wrote that in a card at like my shower. Like, P.S. you're going to hallucinate. Like you're going to think your baby is your dog and is under your covers and like all this. Like
it's the scariest. Yeah. No one talks about it because I think no one wants to admit that that's what they're going through.
Oh no.
You're like, bros, like everyone's going through that.
Anyone with ears, I was telling them like, did you know that I thought my child was my dog under my covers at 4 a.m. when Justin was on the road in full panic?
God.
No, I think my mom, because we were doing like, obviously you do like the every 2 hours. And like by the time you feed him, you pump and get him back down, you're like, well, here we go again, everybody. Like, my mom was like, well, he'll be sleeping like mostly through the night in like a couple months. And then I was like, whoa, that puts like time in perspective of like, this is a stage, like it's the newborn stage. Like you're in the trenches, but like, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think I was focusing on that. And you're just like, get through it. And you're like, wait, no. And then Justin was like, oh, I can't wait till he's like running around. I'm like, no, we don't want to like wish away these stages.
Sure.
Like, we're going to look back on like the squish moments where like, he was just like a little peanut and like laying there
Oh,
and couldn't do anything and be like,
100%.
oh my gosh, I missed that. And like, we're already seeing that with our friends that have kids that are older. They're like, oh my gosh, I just want to hold him. Like, I miss this. Like, I miss this. Like, I wish my kid would just like nap on me all day and like do nothing. And so I'm like, I need to remind myself to like enjoy every stage and not like hope for the next one or like want the next one. Like I talked about like, oh, I hope like Bo's running around in a baseball field. Like, I hope that moment happens. It's like, okay, whether that happens, if we like go back for a game and Justin's not playing and like that happens, like it'll still be really sweet. But I just want to make sure like taking it and enjoying it, a part of every stage, as crazy as it is.
Totally.
If that makes
sense.
Yeah.
When you have 4 kids down the line like me.
3, at least 3 twins.
I think 3. I think you're going twins, dude. I think we're going twins.
I feel like I can't have an only child. I don't know. I just have like so much to give, like so much crafting to do and so much like team mom things. Like I just want to like.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm the room parent of Knox's class right now. I'm just not killing it, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's just like.
I'm not ready for
I like act like I have it together. I'm like, yeah, I don't, but I'm going to let you guys know right away I don't. So we just start there. And then if it's the expectation is like, I shoot up, you know, I get above it. I'm like, score. And they all score too. You know what I mean?
I'm not ready for the school stuff. Like the email, I feel like friends are like, I get like 17 emails a day from my kid's school. And it's like, I don't have the capacity. I don't know how we manage that. I feel like when we were young, they just pinned stuff to our shirt that was like, this is what happened today. And like, just take the safety pin off and like your parents read like
it's a whole different ballgame, dude. The newsletters, everything, just everything about it. I just go straight for the intro. If I find it interesting, then I'll read it. If it's not, then I just delete. You'll never see it again. And I hope the best for Knox, you know?
Good luck out there, buddy.
It's just going to learn either way. So
just read the headline.
If you didn't hear what your teacher said, then why does that's on me. That's on you.
Yeah. But it's like, it'll be every little like behavior thing. The big, I just want you to know, like your kid today said like this other kid sucked and like, that's not acceptable. Yeah. And like, that'll be an email. And like, there's like administrators like CC'd on it. It's like, I'm not ready for that. I don't want to have to address that. I don't have to come in for meetings.
Yeah. But it's funny. I think it's like, I don't know. Do you have this like, again, sorry, off topic here, but like, where you don't feel like your age? I still feel like I'm like 22, but I have a bunch of kids. Okay. Cause I take on life like that and it's
a good age.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. I just say I'm a fun, flirty, like 30 something right now. Like I'm just
that. And then there's like times I look at myself and I'm like, oh God, that is me. Like, oh shit. Yeah. Like I truly still feel like I'm living my life as a 22-year-old, you know, mom to a 9-year-old.
I'm a teen mom. I'm basically a teen mom. Like that's
straight mom. Yeah. I like walk into school still thinking like I'm like it's my first time walking out of elementary school or something. And I'm like
I was just here.
Been here for a bit now.
I was just a student here like a couple years ago.
That's what I feel
like the library still looks the same. Like
yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Life is crazy, dude. It's hard.
I know it's messed
You gotta
up.
just laugh. We just gotta laugh through this shit. Honestly. It's just you have to. You can't take all this too seriously. But then I get a little nervous because I'm like, maybe I should stop saying that too much to my kids because then when it comes to like job interviews, they might have some trouble if they keep going off what mom's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, don't take it too serious. Just say what you want, you know? Like, well,
it's not good. And oh man. And then it's like
cursing.
Yeah.
You have to worry about that, Kourt.
I feel like I'm good right now, but like it's coming. Like when he's like gets into the like talking, repeating mode, like I'm screwed.
Oh yeah.
Or like you say something about like a kid, like you're like, oh, like the kid's a dork in your class, and like he's gonna go like repeat it.
You have to, yes, he's gonna say it.
Like, where
it's
did
happened
you
before
hear
with
that?
Me. Who told you that, Timmy?
Oh my gosh.
No, I had a freaking I wanted to pick up the twins at school, and the teacher goes, I have to tell you this story, but Crew, you know, he curses a little bit, and I was like, no, and she's like, yeah, and I'm like he's maybe at time maybe 2, you know, twice in my house. Well, he uses the F word probably 2 to 3 times at school, mind you, his Christian school. And he is using it within like good context. Like he knows when to drop it. And I'm going, oh my God, this is all me. I was raised by a sailor.
Like,
I can't help it.
Timing good? Like, literally, is it funny? Like, is it okay?
He literally he had his little blanket and his pillow and he's going for nap time and he never naps. He just acts like he does. And then he schmoozes up the teacher and tells her she's beautiful and all this stuff, but to get out of nap. But he has his pillow and he's walking and he trips and falls, says fuck out loud. All of the kids.
What else did you say?
There. And then the teacher, they can't help it. She's like, we can't help but laugh. It's so bad. And I just looked at them and I said, stop laughing at him. Like, tell him that's it.
It's equally
so cute. I'm
like, equally her fault.
It's my fault, dude.
No, they're laughing though. They're encouraging the behavior.
But they're laughing. I'm like, but he's so sweet. I'm like, it doesn't matter, dude. But then he comes home and I'm, I need a little like swear jar probably to see an old school thing if that works.
I don't think it'll work, but
it's not going to work, but it's okay.
I know. I'm screwed. Like, I'm just screwed.
You're screwed. You are so screwed.
And also not like micromanaging all their shit. Like when they have projects, like I'm going to be like, I'll be like, oh, if you don't get it done, like that's on you. And then I'm going to be up at like 2 a.m. like gluing like a freaking diorama.
Oh, dude.
Like,
Oh, yeah. You're so screwed. I did. Yeah. They did like, yeah. I did the same thing. I let Knox one time. He like colored this, like it's supposed to be a turkey and you have to like decorate the turkey into something else. And he kind of colored it. And I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's like the middle of the night. You have to make it something. I made it Chewbacca. And it was like, I did all these like furry things. It just was, I couldn't. Yeah. And he was like, walked out. I was like, that's badass right there. That's freaking badass. But the teacher knows. She's like, you crazy. He's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't let that represent your family name though. Like you got to make sure you take care of it. And like
100%.
What he's doing right. Okay. 100%. We need to shift car gears. Everyone is still very fascinated by your car, the Porsche. So I don't know if you want to, everyone's asking if you still drive it. Do you still have it? Like what's the,
oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay. Even if this thing was like,
is there gas in the tank? What's happening?
It's electric. It's an electric vehicle. It's an electric Taycan, if you guys were wondering. Which at the time I was like, someone said that this was like Shohei's favorite car. And I was like, how does this full fit in this thing? You know what I mean? Because it's tight. You know what I mean? But I've never had an electric car before. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thing has some, if you've had like driven in a Tesla or driven an electric car, they got some, pump to them when you put the
like surprisingly
the gas pedal down.
Yeah.
It puts you back. You know what I mean? I will drive this car if I total the car. I'm keeping the car. It's the car is, Babe Ruth of your time has, given you a car. It's going to be in my life forever. So
I love that. Was there like what? So it legitimately was a gift to you and not Joe. Like it's yours. Which
I kind of like had to like even say a couple of times to Joe, like, no, this is your gift, babe. He's like, do you not get this was to you? And like, so Joe knew about it for about, I think 2 or 3 weeks before it was surprised at our door.
Yeah.
Joe knew about it. Joe picked out the color, I guess. So he went with like an Arctic gray.
Love that.
With kind of like black, cute parts to it. I don't know what you call it. Very technical term. Whatever.
The package.
And yes. And it was, I always look back, even when I drive it every day, there's never been a day that passes that I'm not driving it and I laugh at some point. 100%. Because I cannot believe it's my life. Like I cannot believe, because it truly started off with being a joke. Like it was a joke. Yeah. And then it turned into like, kind of like, oh, Ash, you got to go serious with this now.
No one was laughing. What I mean? Then it was like, oh, this is real.
It's real. Like this is getting real. Yeah. Like I was messing around on my Instagram, and then started the campaign. That's where it started.
Like, what have I done?
I don't know what I was doing, but to give perspective too, it wasn't like I just started whatever. I've always loved Ohtani. Like that, he's badass. Like you can't match that, like Knox had Angels shirts with Ohtani on the back in his closet, right? It wasn't like it's just some, so to get something like that, like I went all in, you know what I mean? Take everything, take every piece of merch. Like, I don't even care. Like if this was somebody else, no way in hell would 17 be given up. There's no way in hell.
Yeah.
Like that, I had such a connection. Do you know as a MLB wife, how much custom gear you have to get? These people don't understand this.
And Justin went to back to 2. I was like, well, I have to get another necklace. I have to do all it's like, okay, there's a commitment.
It's an entire, it's a full commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how much, like my closet, I had to move. Like it's just all the merch. Like it's just it's all custom jackets and my kids at this point too. So it's like,
it was a big deal. It's like a lot of custom.
he had it in college. It was his college number. Like you have your number and you have, I think that's my number.
Yeah.
But when you have Shohei Ohtani, you have Friedman texting going, hey, just letting you know this might happen. Would you mind giving up your number? It was like, well, let's talk about it a little bit.
What do you got?
What you got? What you got?
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't even like that. I just think the first one went viral, my first video, which again, that was the Shokai one. And then, it was just kind of, it happened and it just, the Dodgers asked if I would announce Joe's new number. So I made that Christmas video.
Yeah.
And my sister thankfully talked me into getting a real camera, someone to video it with her, because I was going to iPhone this up. You know what I mean? I was going to cut it up, like no idea what I was doing, but just use what they gave me on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sure shit. I mean, I ended up calling, and it was my uncle's brother, and it was step. It's like Modern Family, but he doesn't even videographer anymore. He's like, I could do it if you want. And he ends up coming over, kills it.
He
does it in like
for this.
an hour and a half. And I'm like, dude, I'm like telling him what I want. I'm like, okay, it's going to be this song. Like, just cut it right here. Like, I'm going to dance a little bit. Like, and he was probably looking at me like, you're psychotic, but okay. And then it turned out so good. And I was just dying. And so, I think just after that was when it just took off. And these dudes were at my door, and I'll never forget it because our family was getting over the flu. And it was like I looked haggard, and I'm like about to walk upstairs, and Joe goes, do you think you want to put on clothes or like somewhere like makeup? He never says that. And I'm like, huh? And I was like, your mom's he was like, your mom's kind of coming. I was like, my mom? And you think she cares about that?
My mom knows.
So yes. And because of that, I wanted to make myself more haggard. After he said that, I was like, I'm going to make myself more haggard. So I just started going upstairs, and then it was the knock. And I was like, kind of kept walking, like, answer the door, fool, and he was just like, oh, it's for you. I was like, how do you know this? I have no idea what he's doing right now. I'm like, what is this fool up to? Is he all excited because maybe he ordered me chocolate chip cookies at the door? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? He's a hero today. so I opened the door, and it's just two men standing there. And I was like, hello? And they were like, Mrs. Kelly? And I was like, and then you saw the rest was history. The video. And I was like, I could not believe. And then it clicked, and I said, oh my gosh. And then, the weird thing is they kind of explained, they gave me the spiel of the car, which I couldn't hear them. I had my daughter was running down the street, like just crying, oh, I'm gonna wipe my butt. I'm like, shut up. I have a Taycan right now from Ohtani. This
is my time right now. This is my time.
This is my time, sweetie. This is my time. And then they just said, okay, here you go. Like, handing me the keys. And then these two guys just started walking down the street. I could have sworn no car, no nothing. They just
because they'd brought the car. Like, do you need a ride? I actually have a car.
I did. They just started walking, and I swear to you, I'm going to end the story. Like, they just poof, and they went away. Like, it was some beautiful, like, I swear. I was like a
fever dream.
What?
Like, it may have not even happened.
It might be the baby hallucination still, because I was literally like, what is going on here? And they just left, and I was like, okay, all right, kids, hop inside. Like, let's do this.
If someone showed up at my door in any day without warning, like, I don't know if I would agree to be on camera. And that was but it's perfect. Like, it's authentic. It's why we love you. But it was like, and that had to be like the moment that went viral too. And you're like, shit.
Kourtney, did you see
that? You can't slap a Paris
Did you see what I was wearing?
You can't slap a Paris filter on that and like remedy it.
I was wearing a 17, I think, on my back. Like, it was like, I really just wasn't letting go of this. You know what I mean? It was like, at this point, it was like knowing like, well, I better get the most use out of all this merch that I gotta spray, across my yard. Like, I literally was just like, so haggard. I was like, I probably smelled like ass. Like, and here I am opening the door like, hi. They're probably like, where's Mrs. Kelly? Is Mrs. Kelly
Where's
here?
that glamorous baseball wife that we are supposed to be
here's
to?
Here I am.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
No, I love that. And you really blew up after that, and everyone got to see the real authentic Ashley.
Yeah.
In all her glory.
All my glory, dude. And all my long story shorts.
I love that. Okay. Well, on Instagram, you have posted a lot of photos with a mystery person. And I don't know how much you want to share, but that was one of the big questions we got was, who is this guy? Who's this kid? Who's this person in these photos with the Kelly family? That's just at every major moment, I feel like.
Yeah. So this was like one of those where I was like, should I talk about John? We could go John, the grounds crew member, right? He's a groundskeeper. He's been Joe's other son from a previous marriage. which I love riding with that one. That's like my favorite one. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that was young. He had him young, right? Which would be perfect. But yeah, we've had a lot of that. And I almost don't want to say anything because I love that people do not know who he is. It was like when in the bubble when my sister, no, they're going to know. I'll tell them right now. But I feel like my sister for a long time, she was in always all the photos with the twins, like this other blonde girl on the side, every single photo, always holding a baby. And people are like, what is this sister wife shit? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And I let people, I kind of went with it. I'd even reply a couple times, like, it's his other girl, you know?
You guys are a tight-knit group. Like, it is like,
like it takes a tread. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, truly. So just, that's his other girl. Like, get over it. So, So who is, okay. So I will let everybody know. He's not any of that. So, and honestly, I don't even know truly what his label would be to us, but he's practically our godson, and it's weird because I'll call him my son sometimes, but he has a beautiful, supportive, loving mother, who is my dear friend as well. But so he's kind of been an adopted child who can't really be adopted because he's over 18. So he lived with us all last year, 2024, and his mom did too. And it's a really cool story. I feel like that could be maybe down the line, or I'll talk about it, long story short, on my story one day. But his name is Noel, and we met him in Boston. So when we were renting a house in an area called Quincy, which is an area called Squantum in South Boston, he was our next door neighbor. He lived with family next door, and got a knock on my door one day, and I was a new mom. Actually, I think Knox was probably about same age as Bo right now.
Yeah.
And it was little Noel, and he goes, I opened the door, and it's this little Cuban boy, and he's like, "Hey, I heard that your husband plays baseball." And then since then, that kid was at my house every single day. And I'm not kidding. Joe would be on the road, and it got to the point where I would start going like, "Where are you, Noel? Like, get over here," because he'd play with Knox, and it was like amazing. I mean, we had such a great connection with Noel that he just truly became like, I truly felt like we had a weird relationship where I felt like he was like my little brother, but also a point where he became almost like a son. So it was just, I'm obsessed with him, but he, so he now is, he even was like on the World Series parade with us when we won in 2018.
I love that.
We go on a duck boat parade, and Noel was right there with us. So, so then when we ended up signing with the Dodgers, when we knew it was for 3 years, it was the saddest thing ever. And I had moments where, I knew their life, and his mom she works so hard, and like, she's a single mom from Cuba, she came over here from Cuba, and it's hard. That's a hard, to try to raise your son and not have, a father really in the mix. So, we stayed in touch and did all those things. And then he got into trouble, and he needed direction. So, long story short, he FaceTimed me one day when he was in a lot of trouble. And so I just looked at Joe, and I felt in my heart, I was like, we gotta take it. They need to come here. Yeah. So it was literally, next thing I know, a couple days later, we were able to arrange for them to come down, and the rest is history. He's now a high school graduate, which he was not, which was weird because I got him into my old high school. Yeah. So going back there and like having, which was nice. I had connections over there, and we're able to do a plan for him. And now he graduated and he joined the Marines, and he's currently he's currently there, and
that's amazing, killing
it. And he's doing something with his life. So I'm so proud of him. But
that's awesome.
He's like our brother. My kids call him brother too, but we've always called him Ooh.
I love that. You have a lot of really good knocks on your door that like happen and lead to like really cool situations.
Yeah.
I don't even answer my door.
Firstborn's knocks. Isn't that weird?
I don't even answer my door. I don't answer the phone. Like, I don't answer the door. So maybe all these like opportunities are waiting for me on the other side, and I will never know. So
for
I
sure.
love that. I'm honored you shared your story with me. I didn't know what you were going to give me.
I don't think I've ever told anyone that. I think I've told like Ellen Kershaw maybe, and like Hayward one, like in a group one time, because they asked. They were like, "Who is John? Who is Jose? Who is?" And I was like, and I almost wanted to lie. I almost wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well,
no, you shouldn't lie.
Somebody, like I wanted to kind of make it juicy and throw it out there and see how fast it spread. But
find out who your real friends are. Just like say some shit.
I'm all, this stays right here, okay? But this one time when Joe was in Cuba, no.
I love that. That was a pretty good story in like a good amount of time. So you're working on it.
That was good. I thought I did a good job at that.
Okay. Let's try some, dare I say rapid fire, like questions? Like
rapid fire. Because then I'm forced to go quick.
Okay. Well, this one sucks as a rapid fire, but how did you and Joe meet?
Oh my God.
Maybe like a year and like a where and like a.
I'm all one night stand. Boom.
Really?
Yes.
Well, obviously not.
No.
Like you've built a dynasty from that. So it's like most successful one night stand ever.
I've had a couple friends that have had one night stands and have turned into.
This is what happens, Ashley. We've already lost you.
Go next question. No, in college, our freshman year of college, he came in with my roommate was dating his buddy, so they both came in before we went to Halloween party, and he saw my roommate, and then I see Joe, who is a string bean in a fireman's outfit. He was wearing shorts. I mean, he has the legs of a model. If you shaved his legs, like truly, like he has Giselle type legs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like he was in shorts, a little vest, and I was like, who?
Your legs.
Love at first sight, 100%. I was like envious of his legs. So I was like where I was at with it, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't even try with these soccer legs right now. Like I could put heels on. I'm not even close to that, but okay. And that's how we first met. And then, so I was freshman year. So then we'd started seeing each other here and there. He lived off campus his first year.
Yeah.
So I was deep in it freshman year. And then we ended up dating the beginning of our second year of college. And that was when it was like, we both had bad ankles. We were always in the training room, rolled ankles and all, just connecting, you know, just doing our rehab. And it ended up turning into more. We would double date all the time with our best friends. And then, from there, it's kind of history. We were lovers.
I love that. Speaking of double, what is your in and out order?
I'm very just regs. There's nothing crazy. I go in number 2, which is the cheeseburger. I just go grilled onions. If I'm feeling crazy, I get well done fries, but lately I'm just going back soft. You know what I mean? If I feel a little pudge, I get lemon up. You get a lemon up too. But if I'm going a little pudge, I go protein if I feel pudgy, but then I get mad at myself that I didn't go regular. So we stick number 2 on and off grilled onions. After I had Kai, I don't know what happened with the grilled onions. Number 2, grilled onions, lemon up.
Love that. I do protein. It's just messy though. It's just like a slot.
It's messy.
No graceful. You can't like eat on a date. Like it's not.
Not good. No.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel skinny after.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how you feel like, oh, I just did that. Then you're really like, I had a burger for, you know what I mean? Like I had a burger and some fries. Like, Neapolitan shake. You got to go Neapolitan shake at some point.
I love that.
But then I'm gassy, but it's okay.
You just can't help yourself. Best memory of the 2020 bubble.
That one was just, I don't have one memory. There was I take it back. And it wasn't my best memory, but it was so solidified in my mind, and I don't know why, but we were coming back from one of the games, and me and my sister, we had drank a little bit, and here we are. And this is where we were. I had my twins, by the way, and they were totally fine. CPS didn't call me after, that's fine. But we had them in there, our baby Bjorns, obviously. And I left my key. I didn't know where it was. And I had to pee so bad, and no one was around because we took like the first bus or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. But at this point, we're all family. You know, we were in bougie jail together. Like we were a family. And mind you, ours is right on the corner, our freaking suite for all of our kids. And so we always had the other team. Every morning it was like coffee to whatever, you know. At the time, Freddie Freeman, hey, Freddie,
the best was when they would lose and we'd just sit up on our balcony and they would all just be wheeling their suitcases out. And we're like,
oh yeah. And we're just like, we're here we stayed. But I had to piss so bad that I just dropped my pants and I pissed in that grass area right by the golf, that we couldn't pass the line. Remember, there's that line. If you crossed it, you were in trouble.
Unless you were certain.
That was like, you got COVID if you walked right over that line.
Yeah.
So
Justin must have crossed the line.
Yeah.
Justin
crossed the line a couple times.
Yeah. He just took a breath on the other side and was like, oh shit. That's what did it. Yeah. Allegedly. That's your best memory. Okay. Wow.
Dude, well, I'm sorry. I was holding a child. I have my freaking twin drop my
not
pants
like the bonds we had,
like
was Halloween,
around.
like the memories we made, like our close in, like it wasn't like the showers, the crafting.
No,
it was just pissing.
Halloween was cool. Putting Halloween together was kind of cool because that was all Amazon. Like that was kind of cool for the kids. But yeah, I don't know. I hated. Yeah, we could talk about that. Could be a whole thing. That bubble, like throwing our kids over, just when we won, just crazy stuff. You and Justin getting taken out. It was the wildest thing I've ever really been a part of, to be honest. We could talk about that for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest pet peeve that Joe does that like just annoys the shit out of you.
He is hangry as shit in the mornings. Really? Where I feel like it's like I have 4 kids and he's just a 5th. It's almost like I have to, when he wakes up, breastfeed him immediately. You know what I'm saying? So he could get something in his stomach.
Love that.
Because if not, it's just like, it's don't talk to him. And then he kind of projects it. He's not like an asshole to the kids, but it's just like little stuff that will make him mad. But it's truly because he can't just look inward and feed himself. Right. Yeah. And it's like, dude, just grab a fucking bagel or grab like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so. And it's weird because we stagger. It's this whole thing. Like I get the kids all their breakfast and then he's like a bear. So it's like, you know, and it's like I do his later or he does his. But I'm like, if he comes down out of hibernation and it happens to be early, oh man, if he doesn't eat, it's a whole different ballgame. So I hate the mornings when he's super, super hungry. It's awful.
That's fair. Okay. Are you superstitious with games, with anything?
No.
Not like same underwear, same whatever. Like if you did this, if you... No.
No.
Just it is what it is.
Not at all. It is what it is.
Okay, love that.
No, not at all. No. I really thought like, I don't know, that I'd have something that I did or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I just try to make it in time. You know what I mean? Like it's different. You have a position player. Like I have a reliever. Do I need to be there the whole game, Kourtney? No. Am I going to fight LA traffic to get into LA for what? The national anthem? Like, I don't need that. You know what I mean? Like, God bless America. But I truly like feel like if I get there in the 5th inning, that's success for me.
Were you there for my national anthem? No,
I wasn't. I saw it though. I've been views. I'm a viewer.
Yeah, you didn't need to. No, that's fair.
Dude, when you Justin have balls. Beautiful voice.
Thanks. When Justin was utility
balls and a beautiful voice
and was off the bench, like I didn't get there until like the 6th in the very beginning. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait, he could come up and like sometimes he'd like pop up on the first pitch. I was like, sick. This was a good day.
That's when it's for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been times for sure that if I push it a little bit, like I've had it before when I've got there and he already pitched and I have to act like I saw you. You know what I mean? Like, good job, baby. You know what I mean?
I did that for one like big milestone situation. I was like, I was there and I like had someone take a photo of like, I'll never tell him. Well, he'll probably hear this and I'll have to tell him, but well, now
they're both going to hear this, so now we're both screwed.
That's okay. What would you be doing if you didn't meet Joe? You'd just be crying in the street with nothing.
I would be not the cleat chaser I am.
Screwed.
I've thought about this before. So, I mean, after college, I wanted to work for, I think having like a sports background, I wanted to work for a sports team. Like that's just, I don't think I knew what that meant. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like finding my niche because I was in like sales at first, like literally the bottom of inside sales and like NBA with the Clippers. But I think as I kind of was around sports more, I really do love community relations. Like I truly, and I think that's kind of where I've been able to certain times, you know, feeling like I could do something with that.
Yeah.
I love like marketing. I feel like I would do something with marketing, but there's parts of me too that I think I could see like, obviously it'd be different because I don't think obviously, well, who knows, but like I'm a MLB wife or whatever. So you're somewhat popular. So I'd have I guess to go that way, but I'd be like a host of something. Like,
I mean, you're born on third base basically in sports. Like you're already like you have your foot in the door, so you could have a leg up. But like without Joe, would you be able to make the connection? You don't know.
100%. And I kind of feel like I think I'd be a good host, and then, or like an in-game host, or I don't know, something like that. But I like behind the scenes. I think like it'd be cool, like coming up with like even like SNL skits or something. Like coming up with like, I think my brain would go wild. It'd be so weird, but I think I'd probably hit one pretty good.
Okay, community relations, writing for SNL.
I'd have a lot of like part-time jobs. You know what I mean?
You just be like gigging it. Just gigging
I would just be like all over the map right now. Like you wouldn't even, I'd be accepting awards right now. Like you wouldn't even like,
yeah,
it'd be like whatever. You know what I mean? Like my life would be, I wouldn't even need Joe from this shit. You know what I mean?
I believe in you.
I know.
I feel like that way too. I was that way, like growing up. It was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And my mom was like, you're like career Barbie. Like you can't make up your mind on what you want to do. And I ended up pursuing none of them. But
yeah, here we are.
Okay, final one. Your proudest baseball moment of Joe.
Oh man,
we don't have to like show him that much love. Like we can just be like,
yeah. I would say, I mean, we always go back to it because he was so badass in the 2018 World Series. Like he was you could not touch him. Yeah. It was like and honestly, coming from the season he was having a shit season. It was like a typical Joe Kelly, like, you know, like he's the best pitcher in the world. And then he's not, you know, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But he was brilliant. Like watching that, he was like, I just remember him coming back in and being like for the 5th game and being like, wait, he's coming back in? Like, you know, his dad or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, he's coming back in. Like it was just full faith.
Yeah.
So I think like that, you know what I mean?
I was like, this guy again.
He was probably your villain. He's probably the Dodgers.
I can honestly, when I close my eyes, I still see his picture up on the Jumbotron in Fenway. Like I feel like it was just never stopped.
For sure. 100%. Yeah. That's, I feel like that was my proudest because he went through a lot that year too. So I feel like he was able to turn it around and just find himself, you know, and just be a typical Joe, fuck you. But I think like in all, cause there's not a definite, he's done, obviously Joe, we know how he is. I'm proud of him for always staying real. Yeah. I just like, he has never been one to not be himself. So I think he's brought a lot to the game if you did pay attention to him. You know what I mean? Like it was like one of those things where I feel like he just brings a different energy and a different to whatever he's doing. I feel like a lot of the times, and it's like, it's real and raw. I think he's himself. So I think that's been like the cool part to just see him still say himself when he's pitching and doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he's definitely the same person on the field and off the field.
Yeah,
and everywhere
for
in between. And I appreciate that. And his interviews and everything, like that's him, and he keeps it real. And he says, and if it was me, I would have anxiety after I say the things that he says because I'd be like, shit, should I have said that? Like, should I have done that? But like, it's just him.
Dude, I get it all the time.
I don't think he finishes an interview and was like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I don't think he does. Like, does he go back and think like maybe I shouldn't have said that?
No.
Like, probably not.
Nope.
Like, it's just,
anything he says he has to say it. It's just how he feels. And he says it. There's no filter. And I think a lot of people wish that life was like that. I think a lot of people wish that everybody was just like that. I think it would be a lot different, but we're kind of taught not to be like that.
We could all learn from Joe.
I'll learn from Joe, man. There's times I want to say, shut the fuck up. Let's be real. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, let's take him off the throne for a second. But like,
give me the mic, Joe. Let's just not put this mic down.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. No. For the most part, he stays himself and he's true.
Yeah, I love that. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. A friendly reminder to subscribe so you don't miss anything. We're also on YouTube, so you can watch us. You can watch Ashley, even though she thought this was a audio-only podcast. So you get to see us in all of our glory. And make sure you're leaving comments.
I'm like this right now.
You have to watch this one on YouTube. You can't just listen. But make sure you are leaving reviews for us on Apple and Spotify. We love reading all of them. Thanks for joining us, Ashley. You can find her on Instagram at, why do you have the weirdest handle? Ashley, like, why isn't it just like Ashley Kelly? Is that taken? Do we need to petition?
Did you not hear what I said? My license plate was AP the OG. I mean, is it going to be, that was probably taken too.
Okay. Ashley, Nico. It's like start of Nicole.
Nico. Like my middle name's Nicole and
Nicole,
Jesus. Joe used to call me Nico all the time. Okay. So I think I just was like, thought I was cute. You know what I mean?
Okay. So find her at Ashley Nico Kelly. Just search Ashley Kelly. It'll come
Thanks,
up.
Kourt.
And show her some
Thanks, Kourt.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and I will talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Thanks for having me, Kourt.
Bum 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 bum.